Welcome to Two Gents, where two seasoned gents take on the hard truths of life, success, and responsibility. In a world where the rules don't bend for us, these gents believe in doing the work, owning the struggle, and inspiring others to take action. So, pull up a chair.
Hey, good afternoon. I want you to listen to something that Pastor Regan sent to me before we even get into the show. I had it set to go to the stage. Let's go here. Not that one. Pastor, here I go again. So,
an African American were bulldozed to death with their eyes wide open in Philadelphia, Mississippi, about this right to vote. Jimmy Lee Jackson's 15-year-old African American student shot and killed in Marion, Alabama, about this right to vote. 4 darling little girls blown up in the church in Birmingham, Alabama, one Sunday morning, all about the right to vote. They made a difference.
Made a difference. Yes, yes.
You must make a difference. Because they died, your generation has the power. John Kennedy was elected by a margin of 112,000 votes. Less than 1 vote per precinct. Everybody counts. Nixon beat Humphrey by 550,000 votes. Carter beat Ford by 1.7 million. Fewer than 3 million votes elected 3 presidents in 16 years. You have the power. You must not have the attitude. It's not my aptitude, but my attitude that determines my altitude or how high I will go. My mind is a pearl. I can learn anything in the world. Just because it rains, I don't have to drown. I may have been born in the slum, but the slum was not born in me. I can rise above my circumstance. Hands that once picked cotton can now pick presidents. You want to free Mandela and free South Africa? Let's vote about it. Let's vote about it. Let's vote about it.
Yes, sir. It was in 1989, brother.
Mm-hmm.
He was there on A Different World. That's A Different World. Remember the show called A Different World?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I do.
Oh,
I
right.
do.
The wine with his glasses.
Yeah, right. Yeah, on there. Yes, all on there. He was trying, he had already ran for president in 84 and in 88. And so he was there trying to get them to understand the parties are registered to vote and voting power. Same thing we're having now in 2026.
One of the things that I want to say hello, everybody. I've been busy. Pastor had me busy before the show. Shutting down, opening up, reopening, doing all the rest of that. We got a special guest out there tonight, and his name is Kenneth James, Spirit of the Streets. And we know that Jesse Jackson has passed away. I found out about an hour after his passing that he had passed away. And, we continue to move because we can cover everything. So I want to say this, Spirit of the Streets is the name of the book that Mr. Kenneth James has written. And I had looked at something on one of the pages, and it was called The God Game. It's called The God Game on one of his pages. And it says, the enemy can't stand a good testimony. I have been through so much. It is a wonderful that I am still here to tell my story. The enemy wants to kill, steal, destroy anything that belongs to the glory of God. That's how the book starts. The rest of it is something that you should pick up. We have a young man that's been through some things in life, that's did some stuff, and he's making himself accountable for it. And when you see him, and I said this when I first seen him, I said, man, I sit back, I say, look at that dude over there. I said, I better stay away from him because he's a little bit different. Then one day we just happened to speak, and I realized, and you start looking at people a little bit different when you happen to talk to them, because when you see them the first time, you say, oh no, you make a guess about their character and who they are. But one day this young man pulled up there and he had this big old steam cleaning rig, the biggest one I ever seen, on the back of a trailer. Then I forgot that he also was picking up his son every day, just like I was there picking up my grandson. So my first impressions were all off the wall, Pastor. I didn't know which way to go, you know. And then when I finally got a chance to sit there at the bus stop and talk to him, I said, "Man, somebody need to hear your story." He went off and he gave me a book, and I came home and I read it. I said, "Man, this, you know, it's more to this guy than what people see from just first impressions." So, Pastor, let me introduce you to Kenneth James again. Kenneth, how you doing, man?
Man, I'm blessed and highly favored, man. I
Man,
really
I don't
appreciate the
want to go
go
ahead.
ahead.
No, no,
No,
no.
I just want to tell you I appreciate the opportunity and y'all letting me on the show. I
Man,
really
it's more than
appreciate
us
that.
letting you on the show because sometimes, you know, people like us, a little age on us, a little gray hair, we don't understand our youth. And that was one of the things that I think I told you from the beginning. We really need to understand our youth. But before we even go there, Pastor, do you have anything that you want to?
So ask Ken to start off. I tell him
Yeah,
his
I'm getting
age.
ready to do that.
They tell his age, so we can know he can relate to the audience younger than
Mm-hmm.
us. Then I want him to start at the
Mm-hmm.
beginning, take it all the way to the end. The floor is his. I'm gonna be quiet. I want to hear the
Yeah,
story.
yeah. That's the way we do it.
Yes,
We didn't
sir.
already introduce you. Now you're part of the family. So go ahead and tell your story. And when you hold up your hands, or say, you know, I'm finished. Just tell us your story, because just tell it like you told me that day.
So I'm 42 years old and I was raised on the north side of Houston. I went to Oak Village, I went to Smiley, Forest Brook, and
Hold on, just a minute.
okay.
Now, I gotta cut you right there because you didn't tell me that part.
I
Yeah,
taught at
yeah,
Oak
that's
Village. I taught Oak Village in 2001 to 2003.
yeah.
I
Yeah,
went to Smiley. I graduated from Smiley.
yeah. I was there, Mr. Spivey, yeah, Miss Benj. I was at Oak Village with Miss Parker.
Lillian
Yeah,
Parker.
man.
Mm-hmm.
Lillian Parker.
Yeah, light skin Miss Parker.
Mm-hmm. Miss Parker,
Yeah, that's
Lillian
my
Parker.
first. That's
Yeah,
my
yeah,
daddy's
little
first
short
cousin.
Miss. Yeah. Yeah, I
That's my
went over
daddy's
there,
first cousin.
man.
She was a principal at Forest Brook.
Yeah. Um, I grew up in a little neighborhood off of Homestead, Armstrong Acres. So my grandma, my grandpa, raised me a portion of my life because my mom and dad kind of struggled with that crack epidemic. And
Mm-hmm.
so she took me in. My grandpa was ex-military and man, he worked every day, cut his own grass, trimmed his own hedges, you know, sat on the porch, read his paper every morning, and he passed away. And it was just my grandmother, you know, she started drinking a bit and got kind of, you know, abusive. And I was young and I got to hanging around the wrong people. And peer pressure is something that's not really talked about in our community, but a lot of brothers and sisters are being bullied and peer pressured by their peers, and not necessarily from a physical point, and it's a physical point too, but it's more along the lines of being isolated by the culture for being smart, for we done made kind of being dumb cool for too long, like in the culture, you know. So following around the wrong people, peer pressure, you know, wanting to fit in, wanting that brotherly love thing, and I end up getting into some trouble.
Mm-hmm.
And I was 17 at the time. I end up getting 10 years, uh, you know, deferred. I went down there, and when I went in, um, I didn't believe in God. I was young. I wasn't fully developed in my mind. So when I went down there, all I did the whole 10 years was you know, uh gang bang, just create, just cause havoc, you know. And I got out after doing 10 years with the same mentality that I went in with, you know. And I was 27 when I got out, but I was a grown kid. So the music that I was listening to growing up, and when I got out, it wasn't conducive to the change and to the
Hmm.
person that that I knew I was, that I knew I could become. And everything that's kind of be Confucius say that he who control images control the world. So the things that they're feeding us and brainwashing into us through these social media apps is real detrimental to our survival, um as blacks, as humans in general, because the Instagram is like the new crack epidemic in the 80s. So they you on your phone all day. You sleep, supposed to sleep 8 hours. You work 8 hours. You eat. You're driving from work from here to that. In between all of that, those hours, when you take 2 hours or 4 hours out of the day that you've been on your phone and you add that up through the week and it turns into 24 hours, which is a full day. When you do that times a year, you got 3 months or 4 months out of your life that been spent on the phone, and it's not feeding your spirit. It's feeding your soul and your flesh. So and this is kind of how we get it kind of blurred in between reality and fantasy. And the key is the young impressionable minds that are not developed don't know the difference between fantasy and reality. So, growing up,
Hmm.
we had BET, we had the rap videos, we had the stuff like, New Jack City these, and it started, way back then. These images and of the way that the culture is supposed to look, um, kind of self-sabotage the way that we look at things. And I went to prison actually trying to imitate and be what I was seeing in these rap videos, what I was seeing my peers do. Oh man, you don't want to go do this, man. And I didn't want to. When your self-esteem is not really intact, and you just kind of, you kind of just go with whatever wind kind of blows you, and
Hmm.
that's what happened. I stayed out 7 months, and I was back facing a life sentence. And when I was back facing this, I was like, man, I done threw my whole life away. I just did 10 years. I stayed out 7 months. I ain't got no kids. I ain't got no, you know, I was just at it had life had hit me. So
Hmm.
and I said, man. I walk inside the cell, this dude's, locking handshakes with gang signs. I look around and I say, man, I'm tired, man. Everybody been telling me about Jesus. They got me dead to the wrong. If if you are who they say you are, you the only person that can get me out of this. So man, I started praying, and I started and all of that stuff just fell off of me, man. I I was serious, I was humble. I was at a situation where I was fighting for my life, and I started going to church. One of the pastors that was in the county ministry picked me out, and he said, man, God got something that he want to do with you. So he started mentoring to me, started talking to me, and I end up getting the night to preach. With the charges that I had, I wasn't supposed to work in the chaplain's office at all. I end up getting a job in the chaplain's office. Um I was facing 40 years for my fourth aggravated robbery.
Mm.
Um Something that I'm not proud of, and something that I don't even have in me, anymore. But at the time, you know, this is what the situation was. And man, I prayed. I was in that almost 3.5 years
Mm-hmm.
fighting the case. I pled guilty. I went to trial. Um, I completed all of the Bible studies that they had. I had certificates. When it was
Mm-hmm.
time for me to go to trial, I signed a PSI, which means I pled guilty, and I got to talk for myself. So the whole time that I was in prison, the whole 10 years, I never went longer than a month without catching the case. For these 3 years, I hadn't caught one case, no contraband case, hadn't gotten any altercations, no fights. I was holding press circle every night. Um, I learned a lot in them giving me a night to preach every Tuesday from holding Bible study. And the guys, oh man, everybody come to jail, they wanna find God. Sometimes God will put you in a situation to bring you
Yeah.
closer to
Yeah.
him. Because without that situation, you would have never got you would have been relying on your ego and your pride and what you felt like you could do. But when you done all you can do, and I end up going to trial, and my
Let me
actual
kind of
my
give you a
go
chance to breathe right there because
okay.
I listened to your story, and somebody out there didn't had that story before. Somebody out there didn't went through that. Pastor Riggins is in high school with kids that's that I ain't no, I can't say that, but that's going to understand your story. But it might be too late for them because they don't want, if they can't listen in school, they can't really listen in the world because the world is hard. If you don't think it's hard, you
Yeah.
get out there and you try being doing stuff the right way. After you don't have anything else to look back or go back on or draw back from, you don't have a college education, you don't have job experience because you've been locked away, you don't have a lot of stuff that the kids out here already have in place because they tried but they didn't make the decisions that you made. So you jump starting from a point where most people can't understand because they can't relate to it. And most people sit there and they want to criticize you or they want to put you in a box and say, hey, I see this guy. I see this guy. He ain't about no good. But then they don't give you an opportunity to express yourself. Pastor, I know you got something to say because I've listened. I've listened.
I just want to
I've
hear.
been
I
with you
want to
for a
finish the
while.
story. I want him to finish the story. I just want him to
Pastor,
finish the
Pastor,
So
story.
Pastor got. Don't worry, you're gonna hear the other side of Pastor. So come on, man. I just wanted to give you a chance to get some water and catch your breath because I hate to let people out there. They get to talking for a long time, and if you ain't used to doing it all the time, you run out of breath and you trying to gather your thoughts all at the same time. So I understand. So I gave you a chance to get your thoughts
yeah, yeah,
back
yeah.
together so we can go back to where you left off.
So so I was at yeah, so the day that I went to trial,
Mm-hmm.
the actual victim showed up
Mm-hmm.
and said that she believed in second chances. She said that her dad had went to prison and got out, and had become a successful businessman, and she don't
Mm-hmm.
know what she would have did if the judge hadn't had mercy on him and let him be a part of her life. Um the DA that told me that I was a menace to society, that I would never see the streets again, was sick that day. So I had a fill-in DA. Um and my judge, she looked over everything. She called me up there. I said, man, I just I don't really had it hard my a lot of my youthful life.
Mm-hmm.
Um when I was staying with my mom and dad, I was left, at a house alone. That's why my grandma ended up adopting us because of that. And I'm the oldest. I was kind of trying to take care of my sister and brother and put us in a situation to just provide for them. So I might have went about it the wrong way as being an artifact of my environment or a product of my environment, and not having the right people around me to kind of lead me in a direction that could have led to something different. But the judge ended up telling me, if all these people, 'cause the pastor got up there, my mom did, our character witness, I had over 200 letters. Said, if all these people believe in you, I'm gonna give you a second chance. I'm gonna give you 10 years deferred. I'm gonna give you a drug program. And she said, and if you even cough wrong, I'm gonna let this DA give you the 40 years that he wanted to give you. And
Mm.
even my PO, when I went to see him, he said, "Man, I've been doing this 20 years and I ain't never saw nobody get this for their fourth aggravated robbery. I don't know what you did, but whatever it is, man, you need to, do right." So fast forward, I've been out 12 years now.
Mm-hmm.
They wouldn't let me go back into the penitentiary. I got my peer specialist certification until I completed my 10 years deferred. So I've
Mm-hmm.
been going back to Ag Seg and talking to, them boys in close custody and stuff like that to give them some motivation, man, and just show them that
So can I ask you a question? What is close
mhm.
custody, and what does that
so
mean?
close
I'm not like Pastor
so
Williams.
so when you go to prison, you got levels. So you got line one, line two, and line three. Line one is kind of like line one and line two, you can be like on the trustee camps. You kind of not high risk or high threat. You get to be a SSI, which is kind of like a janitor. You get certain privileges, certain good jobs and stuff like that. You get to go to school, things of that nature. But on the other flip of the coin is closed custody, medium custody, and then ag seg. Ag seg will be the last thing that you kind of go through. That's what for the guys that kind of very violent, dangerous. People that kind of then gave up on life. They might wake up and want to take you out or take themselves out, kind of real dangerous environment. Closed custody kind of as well, but it's two people in the cell together. Um, on a block, and they just lock down like that and they can't go nowhere. And ag sig is where you lock down 24 hours a day. You only come out for a shower, and you might get you 30 minutes on a rec yard. And the rec yard you by yourself is just like an open backyard with a cage on it that you can step in and do a couple of push-ups, get you some fresh air, and go right back in the cell. So I
Wow.
did 6 years in SEG. I had an aggravated assault, and when you're a gang member, they make you do 5 years backed out before you come up. So I end up doing, my whole 10 years, and I got out with that same mentality because I was around some of the worst people in the state of Texas, and I was picking up some of the worst traits and the worst conversations and the worst things that you can, possibly imagine. And what I found out was that the images that these guys portray,
Mm-hmm.
they're not showing you the other side of the coin. When you go to prison, you're gonna have to get naked, you're gonna have to turn around, and you're gonna have to spread your cheeks. This is what they're not telling you. Every person that's been to prison has done this. Um, the flip side of it is you could lose like precious family members. I know guys that I've been locked up with that then lost their mother, their grandma, they auntie, the mother of their child, and then lost their wives. And I know guys that got life sentences that'll never ever be able to hold a little girl or walk their little boy to school or play catch, and they would die to have the opportunity that a lot of guys take for granted every day. And these are good dudes that just made bad choices when they was younger, that didn't get the opportunity or have the grace that I got. And
Mm-hmm.
it's a lot of guys that are getting out every day that if they knew better, they would do better. If they had the proper information, or if they had people that would that would actually pour into them, man. So they say that it takes a village to raise a child. So it takes a community in cognitive intervention, a reentry program, people, places, and things. When these brothers get out of prison, they're going back to the same community, the same guys waiting on them. It's the way that the culture is shaped. It's like they're rewarding them by giving them more drugs to sell, giving them money, that they finna spend on drugs, and and it's a never ending cycle of the
So,
way
so,
that
so, can I ask you another question while you're going through your story? So when you got out, when you was in prison, was there any trade that you took up or anything like that? Because it seems like to me, and I'm on the outside. Don't now. I'm
Mhm.
asking you because it seems like if a person comes out and they have a trade or something that they can follow up on, would that have made life a little bit easier when you before you went to jail for the second time?
So if I had a trade when I got
Mhm.
out, it definitely would have helped. So this is the thing. When it comes to felons not being able to get jobs,
Mhm.
um, I've never had a problem getting a job, and I got some of the worstest of charges, because they're not teaching our younger guys that when you go in these interviews, pull your pants up. Don't go in there smelling like cigarettes if that's what you choose to do. Your vernacular, the way that you express yourself to these people is a big thing. So the one thing that I did get from prison by me being locked in a cell all those 24 hours a day for all of those years is the only thing I had was books.
Mhm.
So they said if you want to hide something from a black man, that you hide it in a book. It unlocked a different world for me because it expanded my horizons. It showed me that the world is way bigger than just the hood. The
Mhm.
projects where we at is way bigger than that. And when you go to looking at it, you get to looking at your culture and what people um idolize and what people look at, and you get to saying, man, they don't even do this over there. That's not even important whether you got on Gucci or Prada, or they don't even, they living life and enjoying it. This man might have $1 million and he walking around in some penny loafers that he might have got from Payless. So the things that we're focusing on, and the things that financial literacy, super important. One of the most for kids this day. A lot of these kids are not they're not really tough. They're just angry because of their circumstances in poverty. You see what I'm
Mhm.
saying? They're not really like that. They just looking at what they see on their phone, looking at these guys that are renting these Airbnbs and doing these reality shows, and think that, man, they living in these $1 million houses, driving these $1 million cars, when these are just black Upas and lifts and Airbnbs. But
Mhm.
and it's been going on through history, from MTV Cribs to the BT. And when we go back in history now, we see, man, this guy didn't even own this house.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everything that they trying to, you know, that
That
they're that
image
they're
that they try
feeding
to
them.
portray.
Yes. And there needs to be a line drawn to where we can show them, hey, it's this dude is not selling dope and killing people on the weekend when he's not doing his rap shows.
Mhm.
You know,
Mhm.
these guys they're rapping about that, and they're making their money off the consumer, which is you streaming it, going to their shows, paying for their tickets, the
Hmm.
little commercials that they. This is funding their life. But the children, on the other hand, that are listening to the NBA young boys and they're actually in these situations listening to this music, and it's kind of like a temporary insanity thing because these
Yeah.
guys they're gonna get full of these drugs, these perk 30s, and it's alcohol and it's lean and your judgment a sober-minded man. um when you're not sober-minded, and the culture is making you believe and all of this is coming to you at once and you so young,
Hmm.
the pressure, they say pressure busts a pipe. So
Yeah.
now you got a bunch of misled kids, and then after you make the mistake, grandma used to tell trouble something that's easy to get into but hard to get out of. Man, you got some of these guys made a mistake when they were 16.
Hmm.
You know, that mistake that they made when they was 16 has had them wrapped up in the system, and now they 40 and they never got away from the system. And by the time they got it, the 30 years of their life that they could have been contributing to the community, helping at the YMCA, it's so much that we can do, and it starts in the home.
Hmm.
Um, when we looking when we getting into politics and things of this nature, a man can't run nothing unless he running what's going on in his home. So a
Mm.
lot of the ideas and the images and a lot of that come from the house and how you raising your children. Um a lot of us will come out our house and won't even speak to our neighbor. A lot of us go to the mailbox and we, yeah,
As
yeah,
I listen to you,
and
go ahead and finish. I'm sorry.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, we won't even speak to our neighbors, man. Back in the day when I was growing up, my grandma would be sitting out there drinking some tea. The kids had respect for grandmas back then. You know, they had it was just different. You could get your butt whooped down the street at a neighbor. Now touch somebody else's kid, you likely go to jail, get sued. It's a lot is changing. So we can't cry about the changing. What we got to do is insert ourselves in a position of righteousness and try to help lead these brothers out of darkness. And they say that you can't teach an old dog new tricks, but the young minds, if you get to them young enough, and you can make an impact and say something to a youngster that'll change the trajectory of his life, just like that mistake that he made changed the
Hmm.
trajectory of his life. You can pour into some of these youngsters and it'll change the trajectory of their life. I done had mentors that poured into me, man, and everything people are placed in your life for a reason, a season, or a lifetime.
Yeah.
I done
Can
had
I
some
ask you a question?
mentors. Mhm.
I don't mean to cut you off, but I just got a question that's burning me on the inside. When you speak of mentors and people that encourage you to do better now that you're older in life and you make better decisions, it wasn't anybody around when you were younger that kind of did that you just ignored at the time.
Um, nah,
The only reason why I say that is because I
not
can't.
really,
I
because
can't. Mhm.
it was more along the lines of like now, right? How we kind of, oh, I mean, I ain't just, I'm older though. So when I see 17, 18, like right now, they walking around, they got these Dracos, these big guns hanging out, the guns bigger than them. They the understanding, but
Mhm.
like in they might blow you down if you look at them the wrong way. You know,
Mhm.
when you go to the barber shops, the conversations that are in the barber shops, the youngsters, a lot of them don't want to hear it. So Yeah, a lot of them they really don't want to hear it, but it's our job to
Yeah,
to
I
to
want to
to
ask you a hard
Hey
because you
man,
yeah.
said something just a little while back, and one of the things that you said was to go out for a job interview, and you must have never had an vision of going out for a job interview when you were going through your tough times. You just seen yourself in lockdown all of that time because based on the 40 years that you had ahead of you. But my hard question to you was, and you can answer it if you want to. If you don't, that's fine. My hard question to you: what made you tattoo your under your eyes while you was in prison, or did you do it in prison, or did you do it after you got out?
No, it was in prison. So at that time in my life, like I told you, I didn't believe in God then. I believed in the gang guard. I was heavily involved in the gang culture. Um, and at around this time that I did get these tattoos under my eyes, my granny that that I love that played a portion in raising me in my life passed away. And
Mm-hmm.
before when I first got locked up, I promised I was gonna make it home before something happened to her. And the 5 years that if I had have been tucking in my shirt, going to bed when they told me to go to bed, obeying all the rules, I would have had the opportunity to make parole and possibly make it there to hold her before she passed away. So when that happened to me, it really affected me deeply.
Mm-hmm.
And it affected me, it hurt me in a way that that's when I kind of lost it then. I started questioning everything.
Mm-hmm.
I had kind of started getting a hold to a lot of different information, reading a lot of different stuff, kind of just mad at society in general. Wanting to blame the man for this, wanting to, when it all starts with yeah, we get the raw end of the stick a lot.
Mm-hmm.
The way that this system was designed and the way that it was set up, it definitely wasn't set up for us to win. So I started using that as an excuse and as a scapegoat to justify the way that I was behaving and acting. And it was just a lot of anger and rage because of the decisions that I had made and the way that the trajectory of my life was going out. It was just you know, we already at the bottom what we got to lose. So the- yeah. To answer your question, when I got these
You
tattoos, I
answered.
was just in a lot. Yeah, yeah, I was just in a
You
lost
answered. No, I
in
just
a
want
in a
to
lost
hear it
place.
from you. I want people
Now
because when
these
people listen,
now
I want to say
these
when people.
tattoos on go ahead.
Go ahead. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
These tattoos on my face is one thing that if I could go back and change it, I would have never ever did. Because w- when you first saw me, the image that you saw of me is what I get. And even if they don't say it, you feel it. You
Mm-hmm.
you know, and after you talk to me, and after I talk to the people, oh Ken, nah, he good people. It might, but until they know, that's why it's important. So they say, don't judge a book by its cover, but you
Mm-hmm.
have no choice to judge a book by its cover because that's all you got to see so far.
Yeah, because
You
that's
know?
the image
S-
that. Go ahead, Pastor.
hey
I'm
King,
sorry.
Yeah.
I want him, Ron. I know. I hope I'm not trying to take over your show, but I want
No,
him
go
to
ahead.
come to what he's doing today. I want him to. He's a family man. He has a
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
business. He has a book he has out. He has a ministry. I want folk to hear all that so they can see that where he came from to what he's doing today. If we can get to that,
Mm-hmm.
yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Okay, so as of right now, yeah, I'm married. I got a little boy, Khalik. He's 8 years old. He's in private school. I got a daughter named Kennedy, 7 months. I got a beautiful wife, named Amber. We've been married. We've been together 7 years, and we've been married now for 2.5 years now. Um I'm an author of my book, The Spirit of the Streets by Kenna James. It's on Amazon, selling all over the world in 4 different languages. Um it's on audio book as well. I run one of the most successful pressure washing companies in Houston and Pearland. I got almost 200 reviews. It's called K&G Solid Services. Check my website out. You can Google it and pull it up. From the proceeds of that, me and my wife, we give a lot back. We give a lot back to the community. We give a lot back to the homeless. We do a lot of giving back. God then bless me and put me in a situation where I don't work a lot. I got a lot of time on my hands, but when I do work, I do well out for my family to put me in a position to help, because it ain't our money, it's
Mhm.
his, and we got to do right by his children with it. So I try to and yeah, he been blessing me, so that's why I'm at with that
So
man, my
so
whole life has changed. Yeah.
so another thing I want to ask you, since Pastor Riggins has got me to this point, how do you feel about politics? Because I hear people your own age, and they act like they're not concerned about politics, but then when things change around them, the first thing they want to do is start hollering, talking about, well, why did this change? And I heard you say something, and this is what piqued my curiosity too, because you say it's all about local elections. That's the immediate change that you have to look for. It's not all about these national elections, but that's part of it. But in order for you to see change come about around you that makes a difference, you have to go into local elections. I have to say I never heard anybody that young say that. I never heard anybody that took the time and understood that part of it. So that impressed me too when I was talking to you. It's our conversation, because I'm gonna tell you, we were sitting in the parking lot and he had his window open, I had my window open. We were waiting on a bus to pull up with our kids on it, with my
Yeah.
grandkid and his kid, and we just had a conversation. I was like, golly, man. And I didn't want to tell him the first time, but I asked him about it the second time. He said, yeah, man. So I do that. And he went on to tell me about his podcast, Pastor Riggins, and a couple other things that he had ventured into. And I said, man, I'd love to get you on the show, because I know Pastor Riggins. I hear him sometimes talking about the strides that he made toward prison ministry and all the rest of it. I think if he wants to, I'll let him elaborate. I just heard it. It's the other side of the story.
Yeah. What I talked with Kim before we went on air. What I like about it, I went into prison ministry, never gone to prison. In other words, when he's talking about reading books in prison, my parents had me reading books, raised me as a preacher's kid with no TV, so I read 300 books a year.
Mm-hmm.
I got it before I got in trouble. This brother got in there, was able to educate himself. But most of all, when he talks, I hear him talking about the spirit, because he talked about not feeding the soul and the body, but feeding the spirit. He has a greater impact of ministry, because not only does he have the word, but he has the experience of it. Not that you want to have that experience, but that used his experience. He got out of the prison, and now he literally goes out to 4 different units, and able to go to the most violent units and minister to these people. This is what we need. In other
Mm-hmm.
words, a young man like King can go to the students I teach in alternative schools and warn them not to go there. He talked about pulling up the pants for interview. They think sagging is something cute, but I know you know what sagging means in prison. And I think we're
Definitely.
exaggerating when we say that. I've been inside
Yeah.
the prison as a person never been in prison, but I have to follow all their protocols. I couldn't go in there and act like, oh, so-and-so doing this. Oh, I see this one pulling on that one. I see this one kissing that one. They could have shanked me. Or could have said,
Yeah.
hey, don't let him come back here no more. You're a snitch. Had to go in there and mind my business, teach the word, counsel, preach the word, and come out. You know what it is to live this. And that's what we need. We need to take advantage of ministry like him. I'm glad about politics. I'm glad he's involved in politics like I am. But most important involved, right now, when all politics said and gone, we got to try to save out 80% of the people in prison are people of color.
Mm-hmm.
More.
Yeah.
Yeah. More. I was there when you go there and it was 3 strikes and you're out for possession. And there was a guy in there with 6 kids serving 11 years because of 3 strikes and you're out.
Yeah.
He didn't
Yeah.
do anything
That's
violent. Just caught with an ounce 3 times.
yeah.
And there he was trying to
That
get out.
three strikes you out loud. That it'll take you out.
Yes,
And
sir.
it's a lot of brothers like that thing got took out over that. Um so when it come to politics,
Mm-hmm.
p- principalities and wickedness in high places. So I know that the president is kind of a puppet, and I know that he's when it come to what's going to affect us, what's going to affect our community locally, people don't they get all hyped up um about the presidential election every 4 years, but it's voting that's happening right now, like every day for different things in your community. Your district leaders, your mayor, your I was talking to somebody else about that it'll be it'll be a different type of move if we found the little country town. We vetted a kid from when he was younger that's actually gonna do what he say and says what he does, and actually put him as the mayor. We could have a all black town and make our own rules and vote on them and do our own thing. Aside from that, wouldn't even that's how powerful local politics, your judges, these are people that you're gonna go in front of if something happens to one of your kids, or they gunned down by a law or anything. These are the actual people that and that's what um other people get,
Yes, sir. City
Mm-hmm.
attorney.
that are
Yes, sir.
right.
City attorney. Like in Washington County and
Yeah.
Somerville was the other county. Was Caldwell County? That's some of the worst district attorneys for like 20 years. They was sending
Yeah.
people to jail for district attorneys, city attorneys, the mud district, the justice of the peace,
Yeah.
all
And
those local
they're
sheriffs.
they've been in power for so long, and then whenever they do get ready to step down, they just pass the mantle off to their boy,
Yes,
and
sir.
then it just keep and it's a cycle that keep that's what needs to be broke up. And then you'll start seeing real changes in your community locally.
Mhm.
And that's what people's not getting. A lot of people don't know when to vote, where to vote, how to vote, what to vote for, and that's what we need. I feel like when it comes to politics, we need to start educating the younger brothers and sisters on that, instead of always going for the presidential elect, because you can have whoever in office and your local politics be something total. you know it's even when what Trump was trying to do with Chicago, and how the mayor was like, nah, we ain't your mayor, what going on locally controls like your fate to a certain extent.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very, very important to vote on a local basis. And these are people that that can understand you because they grew up with you. These are the people that you've actually saw them walk it out, and them go to school, and them get in these positions, and And that's something that's real important, very important.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
we got another guest. We got another guest that's coming in. I want you to stick around for a minute because Dr. Shirley McKellar has something that she want to add real quick. Today was the first day of early voting. I think I had it up on the back on the side of me.
What?
I went out and
Ramadan?
voted today, and
Oh
see,
yeah.
even me with all of my knowledge, I'm not that good. I'm not that good because I went out today. I stopped by there. It wasn't a crowd out there, and I saw Jasmine Crockett out there on one side of Pearland. It's Jasmine Crockett. On the other side, Jasmine can't get in. So Ken, Ken, I just want to tell you this is Dr. Shirley McKellar. She's running for mayor out of Tyler, Texas. And she might only have a few minutes, so I'm gonna get her in, and we're gonna get right back to your story if you don't mind.
No,
Okay,
go.
Miss Shirley.
Chief, good evening. No, go right ahead and let the gentleman continue his story because we're ending our meeting, and it's all good. I'm here to listen. Thank you. Good evening, gentlemen.
Well,
Okay,
how's things going in Tyler, Texas? Go ahead, Ken. I'm sorry.
Mm, Oh no, I was at. So, you want me to keep going?
yes, sir.
Please
Where
keep
y'all
going.
want me? So, yeah. So on the local, this, very important, and I feel like that's the disconnection with the youth at, because they probably voting for the 4 years, or they probably looking at the news, and each different news station is giving them different angles of what they should be seeing, when the real change is locally. That's where you gonna see the real things that you want to be done in your community and around your community locally.
Absolutely.
Ken,
Come on,
Ken, are
Pastor.
you able to ever get your voting rights back?
Um, so as of right now, no, but there is a way that you can get your record expunged. My probation was deferred, so a portion of that is gone. But when I was 17, those cases, they're still on my record, and
Mhm.
even though they're yeah, like 20 years old, they don't care. And when you look at it, a lot of brothers get down there and educate themselves, as far as politics goes, because they don't have time to do nothing but read. So and they say knowledge is power. A lot of people got a lot of knowledge down there, but it ain't really wild knowledge ain't really nothing unless it's applied properly, and then it turns into wisdom.
Hmm.
So um even if they got the knowledge, when they do decide to turn that knowledge into wisdom and actually apply it, they don't have the opportunity,
Because they
because
can't
they
vote.
know that the guys that understand it, that have actually been down there in prison and changed their life and everything, gonna vote for people that are pushing the agenda of second chances, of prison reform and things of that nature. And I mean, they don't, it'll be too much of right. So they kind of make you jump through hoops to get your voter rights back after you've been convicted, if ever.
Yes, but here's a caveat. Two things. We have a president who has 34 felonies. So hey, they're going to look at that. Second thing is,
Yeah.
the reason why I asked you that question, you can't vote, but you are pushing other folk. You're not feeling sorry for yourself. You're not making excuses. You're not saying, hey, I'm gonna leave politics alone because I can't vote. I may as well just put all my energy in something else. You're still involved in the process, even though you can't actually pull the lever. And that's what I was asking that question about. We have
Yeah,
no
because
excuse.
our kids, they gonna be here long after we gone. The
Hmm.
grandkids, the nieces, the nephew, and if you one of the people that throw your hands in the air and say, hey, you know, you know, kind of, you know, damned if you do, kind of damned if you don't. That attitude right there will lead to our destruction and our demise. And even if you don't get a chance to see it, your descendants will, like your family members will, your legacy will. So if we placed on this earth to do a certain thing, um it's very important that a wise man leaves an inheritance and a legacy for his children's children. So that's what it's about. Even if you done wasted your life and got older and kind of caught the snap at the end of the ball, you still can be effective. One turned into two, two turned into three, three turned into four. You can't never say that your vote not important in no situation, no matter how you know. And with that thinking that is that this one ain't gonna count, might be the one in the straw that broke the camel's back. So yeah, man, it's real important if you got kids and you care about the future of your kids, you know,
I tell
and
you what,
just
is
you
your
know,
book
the
on Audible
future.
yet?
Yeah, it's on Audible book. It's actually in my voice. I went to a studio and did it. It's
I'm
music
gonna
in the
pay tonight.
background.
See,
Yeah, and then my
I pay Audible every year, every month. So they say I get one credit, but I already paid for it. So I got a couple of credits out there. I'm gonna get that book. I'm gonna listen to it.
okay. Yeah,
Spirit of the
yeah.
streets.
And in
Spirit
the,
of the
in the
Street.
in, at the end of the book, it's a bonus section where I put a song in there. It's called "God Been Good." It's on Spotify. It probably got like 20,000 streams,
You
and it's
sing?
just yes, Christian rap, and it's
Yes, sir.
kind of yeah, it's just God been
You
good.
know, as I listen to you, and this is a thing that that as older people see. When we grew up, we had people like Jesse Jackson, Malcolm X, Dr. Martin Luther King. But what we got to start realizing is that we're those people now.
That's
Pastor,
right.
that includes you. We're the people that young people look up to. And hearing this man's story and where he came from, see, you can sit there and you can say, well, why would they do a show like that? Why would they bring him on? Well, I'm gonna tell you, you may not tell nobody else, but you done had somebody in your family that went through some things, and you try to figure out where their mind is and where they're trying to go, and where if they can succeed. If they hear somebody like this young man that came through some things, not somebody that's just out there saying, "Hey, this is the way you do it. I didn't do it, so you shouldn't have did it." This young man is saying, "I did it. I got kids I'm trying to raise. I got a business I'm trying to do. Nothing from what I've heard so far has said that I just give up and I'm going back to the old life." At some point in his life, even your child, cousin, or somebody's gonna have to make the same decision.
Mm,
Maybe just listening to him would
yeah,
motivate
I
them to
agree.
say, you know what? Not me, not Pastor, not Dr. McKellar, but somebody that's been where he is can motivate you, and maybe you can talk at him. You can talk to him a different way by not putting that pressure on because I got mine, you get yours. You made that decision down there, so I'm gonna leave you there. This young man is saying he made the same decisions that maybe that person that you giving up on,
Right. And I'm
but he
gonna
changed
say
his
something,
life.
Mm,
Go ahead, Pastor.
something spiritually. People say, I haven't seen God do anything. I don't know if Jesus is real. That's it. That's right there.
Mm,
Because Jesus says, when you come to me in prison, when you go to the least one in prison, you came to me.
mhm,
This man got in prison and said, if you're real Jesus, I'm gonna take you at your word. Now look at him.
mm,
Now look at him.
it ain't nothing
That's
but
not
a
a sermon
miracle.
with 3 points
Yeah.
and a rhyme. That's not a devotional with a prayer.
Uh,
That's not you doing a responsive reading. That's the
uh,
real action of God right there.
yeah. And I promised him I'm gonna serve you till I die, and he carried through with it. And for the we all have sinned and fell short of the glory, right?
say it
Yes,
and
sir.
say it again.
And the main people that sit in a certain seat and look, that's the wrong look, because Jesus wasn't sitting in there. He was out there. Yeah, he was with the lost. He was with the less fortunate. He was with the people that needed the help.
Mm.
So in saying that, God is faithful, man, and if it ain't never too late. And faith come by hearing, and hearing come from the word of God. I stood on scriptures when I was
Mm.
in there. I learned that to fight the enemy, you got to stand on God's word. I started memorizing his word. And there was one scripture that I used to quote after I pray. So should my word be that go forth out of my mouth. It should not return to me void, but it should accomplish that which I please and prosper in the thing for which I sent it.
Yes, sir.
That, and he knows the thoughts that he has towards us. And I, I, your testimony, people can go back and forth over the Bible and over this, but you can't never deny the power of God. And what God showed me is something that nobody can never take away from me. I was all the way, wasn't no, it was over with for me, definitely. Like it wasn't.
Mm.
I'm right here, right now, in my house, and just waking up. It's a lot of brothers that didn't even make it out alive. Oh yeah, it's dangerous down there. So
Mm.
just that within itself, and get my freedom, um, it it just made me look at the people that are actually right now in that same situation, looking at life like, man, I'm tired.
Mhm.
You get tired, and then you got some people that they tired, they just ain't heard the right person, they ain't saw the right person. God ain't it ain't it ain't time yet. But don't never give up on nobody, because God ain't give up on you. So it
Mhm.
ain't never a situation where we can throw somebody to the dogs and say, "Oh man, at this point, hey, if you gotta love them from a distance, pray for them, but don't never give up, because God ain't never gonna condemn." We don't know what they gave up on me. Oh man, he a crash dummy. He gone. Oh yeah, he ain't never gonna get out. Oh you know, and I walk right
Absolutely.
up out of them. Paul, they start praising in jail, and walk right up out of there. So can't nobody
Amen.
tell me nothing about, and that your testimony is one of the most powerful things that you got towards the enemy, because can't take that from you. So
Absolutely.
yeah, man, that's real important,
That's powerful. That's a
above
powerful
all. Yeah.
testimony. As we go through life, sometimes we don't try to understand somebody else's story. We don't even go with somebody else's story. We so
Yeah.
high and mighty that we done moved in the suburbs away from where the problem was, and then we wonder how come they never come out of there. And then we drive our big cars and we turn our nose up on the people that's within the community,
Hmm.
and we never see the situation that they came out of. Everybody didn't have a golden spoon coming out of their mouth. Everybody didn't have their father didn't give them $1 million. They wasn't flying on the Epstein jets around the world, but they tried to make a life for themselves. And if you don't understand what this young man is saying right here, I feel sorry for you. I really do. Because it's a whole different world out there. And if you can't accept it,
Oh,
it's something wrong with us. It's something wrong with us as a people, Pastor. When you
Yes, sir.
see people on the street getting picked up by ICE agents, and you don't feel no sympathy for them. When you see little kids in jail with their father, and they sitting there 5 years old, the only way they got out of that situation was because enough people paid attention to them. Well, maybe if we pay more attention to the people that's in his situation, they're not making it. Maybe if they listen to his story, maybe if they tried to understand where he came from and applied it to the people that's around him, we wouldn't have these problems. We wouldn't have these problems. But I think that we did it to, in a way, we did it to ourselves as a race when we gave up on
As
our
a cr-
kids as a whole. I think that we got to get them back in line. It's the ones that's out there that we got to get back in line, show them the way, and give them some type of light or some type of hope. Because if you don't give a person hope, they're not gonna succeed. So, hey man, Ken, we're gonna get you
Yes,
back
sir.
on here. We're gonna get you. You
I'm trying to
welcome to
get
come
you
back
to school
anytime
one
that
day.
you want to.
I'm
What you
trying to
say,
get you
Pastor?
to
No,
school one
I
day,
don't have that
Ken.
much.
Ken, we're gonna get you back on here. Don't go nowhere. I want you to. I'm gonna introduce you to Dr. Shirley McKellar real quick because I know she has something that she wants to say, but she didn't want to interrupt
Okay.
you. We're gonna let
Yeah.
her say what she wants to say, and then
Okay.
we're gonna turn it let Pastor go back into asking you what he wants to ask you. Come on, Doctor.
Okay.
Yes, Chief. Well, let's say good evening to all the gentlemen. And let me say to that young man that is a powerful story that he shared with us. And many other young fellows need to hear that story.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing. But I just want to let you know, actually, I'm not on the primary, as you know, Chief. My election is in May, and early
Okay.
voting for me is this last 2 weeks of April, and then the
Okay.
first Saturday in May is my election. But we work,
Yeah.
but we
Okay.
work with getting those that are in the primary, getting people to the polls to, so we can get Jasmine Crockett and others elected.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what we've done today. But
So
I'm
so so
enlightened by listening
Dr.
to
Shirley
that young
McKellar,
man. Yes, go
you
ahead,
forgot to
sir.
tell him. You forgot to tell him what office you're running for and
Oh
what
yes,
city and all the rest of
yes.
that. Everybody don't
Well,
know Dr. McKellar.
that's true. Young man, I'm actually running for the mayor of the city of Tyler, Texas. I'm the first person of color to actually run for that seat. In 1985, we had Dr. Martin L. Edwards, who stepped out and ran for school board here in Tyler and won. And then a few years later, we had Mr. Andrew Mellentree, who stepped out and ran for county commissioner in Tyler, Texas. Those were the two first. And I'm the third first to ever step
Okay.
out and run for this seat. And so that's what we're
Amen.
Amen.
working hard on. Yes, thank you for that.
Okay. Okay. And Tyler,
I actually
Texas.
am in Tyler, Texas, and I also am the first person of color to run for United States Congress in District 1, which composed of 16 counties in East Texas. So
Okay.
that's me and a little bit about me. But I'm let me just tell you
Got
that
the
I
most
am
important
so
part.
go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead,
She is
Chief.
also ex-military too.
Okay.
Yes, I'm retired. I spent 20 years and a day in the military. And my background is medical. However, when I got ready to run for public office, I went back to school to get my degrees in political science so that I could be the very best candidate. I have three
Mm.
Caucasian gentlemen that are running against me for mayor. We've only had white
Okay.
people in this town that's ever held those positions, and it's time for a change. And I am that change.
Yes,
Yes.
yes, yes. And
Okay.
that's the reason why every time that we
Okay.
get an opportunity to bring people on like Dr. Shirley McKellar and anybody else, we're gonna continue to bring them on. Tawana Caden was the one that
Yes.
showed early voting. I'm trying to slide to the left or slide to the right. My camera is fooling me. Early voting is here. I went out today and I did early
Started
voting.
today.
Okay.
Your girl was on the election ballot in where I was voting,
That's
Jasmine Crockett. So
that's
I just
right.
want to say, if you want to get out and vote for Jasmine, get out and vote for her. If you're in Tyler, Texas, vote for Dr. Shirley McKellar, and pay attention to what's going on. You got Pastor, what's his name? Can't say his name, but you can say it. Menifee.
Yeah, Chris Menifee.
Yeah, Christian Menifee is
Christian
running.
Menifee.
Okay.
He's running here in Texas. We need some new blood. I'm gonna tell you. I hate to say this,
Yeah.
Pastor. I'm gonna
I
say
agree.
it anyway. Pastor, I'm tired. I'm tired of listening to men get running in office, and we've been doing this for years and
Yeah,
years. If
Mhm.
I if when I voted today, I did my research, and I'm gonna tell you, I just got to a point
there
when
you
I got
go.
in that poll booth. I said, you know what? It's time for women to get in there. I'm tired. I'm
There you
tired
go,
of these
sir.
deadbeat
Mhm.
Yes,
men
sir.
that's running down doing the same thing over and over. and then we won't give a
Over and
woman
over.
a chance because we say they maybe they can't handle the job. Well, if you don't give them a chance, you don't know what they can do.
Yeah.
You
That's
don't know
what
what they can do.
Well,
Might
Come on,
Chief,
might
Pastor.
run
I
it
want to jump
better.
in on that, Chief. I want to jump in on that, Chief, because we've been handling the job ever since the inception of time. Anybody on this call tonight has a mother? Yes, every one of you have a mother,
Mhm.
and the mothers used to run. Not only did she run the household, she went to work and she ran the workplace, and then she took care of the children. The woman has always done exceedingly well in everything that she's ever done. And so, yes, I appreciate the fact that you want to give the woman the chance that she can run this place. I was a commander in the United States Army. I came out of a man's world, and most of the soldiers that were under my command were gentlemen, and they showed me respect. It was never any form of disrespect from any of them because they believed in me, number one, and number two, I work right along beside them. I didn't ask them to do anything that I didn't sit right beside them and do it as well. So a woman can
Amen.
handle the job.
And
Definitely.
that was my thoughts. Come on, Pastor. You had something that you was trying to say because
Oh
I
no, I
told
was
you
saying
what
to
my
Chris
thoughts were.
that as soon as I can, I'm gonna try to get him to come over to the school, to the alternative school. Does a lot of the young men he's saying the minds are undeveloped of making those same decisions he made. They already have a ankle monitor and a lot of other things going on. And so I have the opportunity to put together mentoring some of the young men there. And matter of fact, the principal I was talking about it today about put together some groups of guys that we're trying to catch before they, be too far gone. And hopefully I get Ken to come over and talk to him, give his whole story. They see he wants tattoos removed that can't be removed, so make the best of it. They see them tattoos on his eyes. They hear his story. They'll know that hey, he not false claiming.
Mhm.
Not fronting. I can talk to him about it and tell him I went to jail, prison ministry, and all that stuff. They still call me a preacher kid, a preacher boy, and all that. And they hear me. They know I mean well, but I haven't been there. But this young man has been there. And so we're
Right.
not fantasizing, we're not glorifying what he's been through, but we're gonna make the
No.
best of testimony to God's glory.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So is the young man from Houston? Are you from Houston, Texas? You live in
Yes,
Houston?
ma'am.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
ma'am, Miss Shirley.
I,
I'm
I
from
Go ahead.
I'm from Houston.
Okay. I brought a program to Tyler, Texas through Prairie View A&M University. It's called the Texas Juvenile Justice Program. I brought that here about, this is the fifth year now. We work with third grade young boys to try to make sure that they never get to that system. So we're working closely with them every single day. Make any mistakes and mess up their records and so forth and all the above. So unfortunately, you're far away from us. I would love you speak to those young gentlemen because I think about the prison pipeline to from the schools to the prison system, and we're working hard to make sure that that does not happen to these young boys here in Smith County.
Hey, Dr.
Yes,
McCullough,
yes,
technology,
Yeah.
you
sir.
can do it. You can do it with Zoom, you can do it through
Yes,
stream.
technology. That's
And
exactly correct. You're right. Thank you, Pastor, for that, for re-reminding me. Yes, absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah, Miss
No
Shirley, I'm more
stomping ground, buddy.
than
Go ahead.
willing
Go
to
ahead, Ken.
talk to him. I'll travel too. I ain't afraid to travel, but technology too. I'm here to be
Yes.
used. Just whatever you need me for, just reach out and I get you, my contact information and all of that. And I do agree with you on that. Women don't get half of the credit. They multitask a lot
Right.
and
Yes.
juggle a lot. And
Yes.
yeah, definitely
Right.
wanna and 20 years in the service is not no joke. So
No, sir, it was not.
yeah, we got
I'm
somebody that kind of know what they doing. So
right.
definitely
I,
want to
I
get
have
down
the
there and
privilege
learn.
of traveling around the world, and I've been in every state in the union except Alaska. So I've seen a lot of things. I'm a war veteran as well, so I serve Operation Iraqi Freedom and Enduring Freedom, both wars. So I'm
Oh
not
goodness.
afraid of anything that I need to tackle out there in Smith County and Tyler, Texas. I'm ready for the job. I'm prepared better academically and professionally than any of the three people that I'm running against.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I'm ready.
I just
Okay.
I just did
I
something
just-
crazy. I'm trying to understand this technology that I'm working with.
And
But he's right, Pastor. He's right. He can actually. I think he has some videos up on this page that you can go out. Put out your information, Kim, on your web page and stuff like that, where they can go out and look at it. I think I saw some videos up on your YouTube videos or whatever.
mhm.
Some that you
So
had did earlier.
what I'll do is I'll go to the comment section and I'll put all my information and everything on there so they can
Okay.
check it out. My
and
YouTube and all of
tell
that.
me your complete name. Tell me your name, young man. Okay.
So it's Kenneth James Douglas, but my author name is just Kenneth James.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Great. I got it.
Dr. McKellar, I
Um,
know I go ahead, man. I get to talking. I'm excited right now and I don't want to cut you off. And Pastor know how it gets. So sometimes you just gotta tell me to shut up.
but Pastor Riggs, yeah, I definitely can come because you are spent away from the street, so just let me know and we can definitely because that's kind of like that's my thing, man. Talking to them young boys and I'm big on prison reform. Keon Brewster, Boss Man Brewster, he do prison reform too. So what he has is a program that they train inmates like 6 months before they get out into a cognitive like intervention program to kind of prepare you to go back into society and give you the skills that you need to actually because it's a big transition coming from prison to this world,
Sure. Sure.
especially when you done time. You know, you got some of these guys that they had flip phones and beepers when they left.
Mm,
Now they can FaceTime. They don't understand it. You know,
Mhm.
so it's just preparing them instead. It's like we're setting them up for failure when we just open the gates and let them go because they haven't had a chance to properly prepare their self to re-enter into society. That's why
Society.
the programs at these halfway houses and stuff like that are very important. But yeah, the people, places, and things and the skills that these programs teach you, and then he has a trucking company. So they coming straight out of prison and they hopping in them 18-wheeler trucks and they able to take care of their family. Because the first thing that a man wants to do when he gets out of prison is take, especially if he been gone, he done missed a lot of birthdays. He wanna take care of his family. He want to
That's
contribute.
right.
That's what's gonna give him the confidence for him to re-enter into society and make him, feel like he's worth being an asset instead of liability to the family.
Right.
So that's something that I want to try to work on as far as with my pressure washing, partnering up with churches and people that have businesses, and maybe when they come out I can train them on site on jobs and just kind of work it in. I don't got the specifics of it, but that's definitely something that I'm hoping to implement in the future when God put me around the right people to kind of initiate this program to help reentry because that's real important. Um if you give them a blueprint, a lot of times when they come in there talking to them, they don't have nothing to show them or they don't have no opportunity for them. So to them, it's kind of like talking about this and that when we starving. We hungry. When we get out of here, we don't even have money to buy draws, to muscle shirts, deodorant, toothpaste, stuff like that. So whenever they getting out and going into these communities, they hooking back up with the same people because they're not changing the
Mhm.
people, they're not changing the places, and they're not changing the things that they doing. So it's almost impossible for them not to bust a 360 and go right back to where they just came from. Because if you knew better, you would do better. And with the information is real powerful. If you got the right information to make you some legal money, take care of your family, not risk your life and go back to jail trying to do something illegal, and somebody actually give you the opportunity to do it. Now, not 100% of them, but a large percentage of them would,
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
change their life. They just need an opportunity, and that's what it is. A lot of their families, when they get out, be done already washed their hands of them. Then when they get out, they got a lot of rage and anger in their heart because they feel like all of their co-inmates got visits on Christmas and stuff like that, and they didn't because
Mm.
mama was too busy trying to be a single mother and raise the house and take care of the kids and work two jobs to come down there and see you. Now it's so much that goes into this picture that I'm painting, that yeah, the reentry, the prison reform is kind of big. And then the juvenile system, if you can catch them while they that young, and you can catch
Mhm.
them and give them testimonies from guys that, so Joe Osteen probably could go down there and I don't not have as big an impact as somebody that they can look at and say, man, if he did it, I know I can do it. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? Hey man, I might know his uncle or something. Man, I heard about you, and man, if you can do it, I can do it. So it's everybody got their own ministry, and everybody got their own calling and what they supposed to do in the kingdom of God. And I just know that He didn't bring me through all of this just to turn me loose for me to just not share my story and what He did for me. That's why He did it for me, so I could spread the good news. That's what it's. So yeah, man, I'm here to help. I'm here to enlighten. I'm here to be a light in a situation with these guys, because I've been there, and I
Mm-hmm.
know what it feel like to be forgot about.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And yeah, it ain't a good feeling. So yeah, and to kind of, what's the name of it, when you kind of redeem yourself, and even if you started off with your story being bad,
Mhm.
the ending of
Oh,
your
Pastor.
story ain't gotta look like the beginning of your story.
Right.
And and
That's right.
and that's what I and that's all I want to do. Y'all ain't gotta go out like that. So yeah, that's just that's just, yeah, my passion and what I know God delivered me to do. So any
Mm.
way that
Yeah.
I can help with that, is very important. Voting locally, very important. Getting these guys any type of help that we can do. These guys that got these businesses and stuff, setting up trainings and stuff like that to kind of, help uh the youngsters. A lot of them, some of them just want jobs. So, they'll run around the neighborhood and cut grass for $20. They just want to do something to keep them out of trouble. And then at the same time, while you keeping them out of trouble, you ministering them and pouring them into them and holding them accountable, because
Yeah.
accountability is something that's very important when you walk in this life. Accountability could save your life if you got somebody that that's gonna be like, man, what was you thinking? Or, hey, I gotta be here Saturday, so I ain't gonna do that, man. I gotta wake up early and go help. I,
Mm-hmm.
I got a idle mind is the devil's workshop.
Mhm.
Yes, it is.
So
Yeah.
I know that for sure. So if we can keep them busy, but keep them busy in the right way, and pour into them while we keeping them busy, and giving them different ideas, giving them different books to read, giving them different and kind of just guiding them in that direction, I know we'll uh breed a lot of young gentlemen that can possibly, end up changing the world. Because
Right.
Malcolm X was in jail and look at the impact that he had.
That's
You
right.
know,
Yeah.
some of the people that have impacted this world in whatever way did was in prison. What they did, and Malcolm X, he said he educated himself with the encyclopedia and stuff while he was locked up.
That's right.
Mm.
He was always that smart though. He just didn't have nobody to bring that out of him.
Right.
Mhm.
That's
So
right.
if you got a lot of youngsters that all their mentors are trifling and they drug dealers and they hooplums and they don't got no and they smarter than eh, you know than they look, or they smarter than these guys, they have to dummy themselves down just to fit in and not be isolated by the culture. And it's a lot of them in there. So if we could bring that out of them, they gifts and because everybody got a different gift that God gave them. If we can bring that gift and they light out, then they could possibly yeah, change the world or make it better for our kids to come. Because at the rate that we going right now, um, you just got to take a deep breath sometimes
Mm.
and
Well, can
pray.
Absolutely.
you?
So we coming up on the we coming up
Yeah,
on the
nah.
hour. We
Yeah.
coming up on the hour, and we done heard
Oh, you do an hour and a
Ken
half.
Williams.
You mean an hour and a
Huh?
half? An hour and a half.
Yeah, we coming up on an hour and a half. I know, Pastor. I'm watching the time. And we done heard Mr. Kid Williams' story. I hope you've been in. I hope it just drew you in and got you to a point
Mm,
where you can identify, where you're not saying it's nobody else's fault. And if you got people out there that need to hear this, what do we say
mm,
about technology? You can go back and hear it.
mm. That's
You can
it.
go back and hear it, and you can apply it to somebody that you know that's on the other side of the street that's trying to get their life right. You can go to their, you can come back and make them listen to this, and they'll try to, they can get an understanding of a young man that's been where they didn't been. Mr. Ken, I'm gonna call you Mr. Ken because I respect you now. Yeah, not like I didn't
Exactly.
respect you then, but I respect you more because, as you said, a book. You can look at a book cover and you don't know what the story is on the inside of. You don't know what a person has went through with the changes and how they matured and changed their life. So I'm gonna
Right.
give you the opportunity because we getting ready to get out of here. Before
Okay.
when I give it to Pastor, Pastor don't give it back to nobody.
I
Take us
understand.
home. Okay, Mr. Ken, come on, tell us what you would like to tell the world, and what would you like them to know about making changes in their life based on what you've been through.
So, if it's one thing that I want you to take away from my story, that it's definitely not how you start, it's how you finish.
Mhm.
Mm,
And eh, I know people don't like to it politically about the religion, but as for me and my house, we gonna serve the Lord. And I
Mhm.
just know that it might not work for it didn't work it for me. He didn't show me, and just my testimony, man, God is real.
Mm.
And
amen.
this time that we got on earth is like 24 hours when it's compared to eternity. So if God said you got 24 hours and the things that you do in this 24 hours is going to affect the way that you live your life for eternity, I think
Mm.
that we will put down this Instagram and get
Mm,
on that ground with our boots and actually
Mhm.
go to work for the kingdom of God. And when you compare our life to eternity, it's like 24 hours. So I just
mm,
want to make sure that everybody be accountable for the time that they here on earth, and understand that it's gonna come a day. So with that being said, man, God bless. I definitely appreciate y'all having me on. And yeah, just know that second chances are needed, and they're
Mhm.
taken advantage of when given to the right people. So
Yeah.
that's pretty much
Yeah,
it.
Dr. Shirley McKellar, calling out
Yes.
Dr. Shirley McKellar.
Oh my
Anybody know
gosh.
Dr. Shirley McKellar?
This
Anybody
is
know
so
Dr. Shirley
amazing.
McKellar? This is
So
hey,
amazing.
doctor, come on
So
in
amazing.
and
Uh,
we done heard
miss-
Ken's. Now I'm
Thank
going to
you.
Dr. Shirley McKellar, and you
Yeah.
give it to Pastor Riggins when you finish, because he knows
All
what he
right.
got to do.
Okay, so Mr. Ken, let me just tell you that I am so impressed with your message, and I can hear that you are a student of the scripture, so you absolutely on the right track. My final question to you is that while you were there, I know that you studied the scripture because you can quote it and I hear it. I'm a Christian as well. Did you take any other courses to get you to the next level, or are you going to take some courses now that you're at home? And I'm talking about formal education now. And if so, what would that
Uh,
be?
so I got my certificate in HVAC and building maintenance,
Wonderful.
and um I kind of went into that trade, but I found out that 120 degrees in that attic, it just kind of wasn't for me. But I have a trade that I can take with me, that if
Okay,
my life depended on it, I got something that I could go and make some legal money with to take care of my family.
very good.
So I did end up getting that trade. I end
Mhm.
up getting my when I was in the county fighting the case, I ended up getting my GED because I
Okay,
never
very good.
graduated from high school. So I did get my GED, and
Gotcha.
I got my peer specialist certification where I can go back in and uh like mentor people with drug abuse problems and stuff
Okay.
like that. Kind of like
Counseling.
a
Counseling
sponsored,
kind of
kind of
stuff.
like
Okay, gotcha.
yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah.
Okay, we're
So
gonna give it to
with
Pastor
that.
Riggins. I know that we're out of
Okay.
time, so
Okay.
I'm gonna. Thank you so much. I'm so impressed,
Oh
and
no,
I hope
no,
to.
no, no! Before you
Okay.
give it to Pastor Riggins, where are you running for? What are you running
I
for?
am, yes. My name is
In the
Dr.
state,
Shirley
and so we can
McKellar.
give it to Pastor Riggins.
Right. And I am running for the mayor of the city of Tyler, Texas. And anybody that's out there listening that lives in Tyler, Texas, and Smith County, I need that vote. My boots have always been on the ground. From age 18, I've been actively involved politically. So my election is the first Saturday in May, and early voting starts in April the 21st. Thank you. May God bless you. And thank you, Chief. I appreciate the time.
Always,
And
Dr.
now,
McKellar.
Pastor Ribbon. Yes, sir.
Ken, I'm very impressed, man. And listening to you talk, and we often end this show with a spiritual word, because even though we're talking about politics and community activists, our source is God. God is our
Mm.
source.
Amen.
Everything else is a resource. The
Yeah.
money is a
Mhm.
resource. The politics, the government is all a resource. Only what God allows and what God directs is what happens. And so, listen to your
Mhm.
story. I, I know you know about numbers from the Bible, and the number 10 means dominion. And I want to pray a tenfold blessing over your life, a
Mhm.
tenfold blessing, that God will bless you 10 times to the max of whatever you have touched your hands to do.
Yeah.
Mm.
You spent 10 years in the prison, came out 7 months, got back in trouble, was facing 40 years. 40 in the Bible always was something negative. 40 years, 40 days, 40 nights of rain from Noah. 40 years I was stuck on the backside of the desert, wandering in the wilderness.
Mhm.
Even when Jesus fasted, he fasted for 40
Other
days
days.
and
That is
40 nights.
important. Mhm.
Mhm.
It was preparation. God brought you out of that 40, man. And so now you're giving back. And I thank God for people like you. And I'm praying that there'll be a tenfold blessing on your life. That whatever you touch, whatever you get involved in, whatever God gives you, every vision, every provision, your family, your resources, and everything that God gives you, there'll be a tenfold blessing. I pray this in the name of Jesus. If everyone listened to us tonight, we didn't go to nowhere else. We had some other things planned, We go there all the other nights. We stayed right here with Mr. Ken James Douglas and listened to his story. And I believe that story is going to touch the lives of a lot of people. I'm going to reshare it. I'm going to send it to young people, resharing it in different places. And we pray that we leave this platform. We don't leave the presence of God. God, wherever we go, that your spirit lead us and wrap your arms around us. And may your spirit also follow us. We be enveloped in what you're doing. That we give you the glory to all we do. In the name of Jesus we pray. Amen.
Amen. Amen.
Amen.
And you know, I'm gonna say thank God, thank God, thank God. I say that every time that we get on this, every time Pastor get through praying. But I'm used to Byron Glass giving me the deuces about now, and which he hasn't had the opportunity to do. But Pastor representing Byron Glass, Ken, we appreciate you coming on, man.
Anytime,
Do not make this your last time, because we need to. When we were looking for opinions, I don't need nobody like me. I need people like you to give us your thoughts and bring it into the show. So do not make this your last time. Please don't run away
Definitely
from us.
not, man. I will be back, man.
Hey, and we need it. We need it. We need it. Byron Glass, you have been missed. I don't know what to say, but we're getting ready to get out of here, Pastor. I'm gonna end this stream. Just hang on for a second and just let me end this stream. Goodbye, everybody. Thank you for the listeners that listen in, and anybody that go out there. Media, I forgot one more thing because I always remind people. Pastor, where can they find you? Because I messed up last week. I didn't put it on.
Oh, yeah. Tomorrow night, Aquila Fennell Riggins, my Facebook page. We have a live Bible study with United Covenant Church of God and Sugarland Church of God. We stream it live. You can catch a live archive at 7:00 p.m. We teach book by book, chapter by chapter, and verse by verse. We're in Matthew, the 6th chapter, starting tomorrow night. And also, of course, at 6555 Mesa Drive on Sunday mornings, 11 a.m., we're out there at United Covenant Church of God. Hey, this Sunday, I start out on the trail ride for the Prairie View Trail Ride Association with the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo. So one of my social ministers will be preaching. But I'm the chaplain with
Wait. Back that up. Come on, say it again, Pastor. You know, say it like you're up on the pulpit.
On this Sunday, we start at the 7-day ride. I'm the chaplain for the Prairie View Trail Ride Association, the oldest African-American trail ride in the nation. This is our 69th year of riding. We ride 7 days from Hempstead, Texas, all the way down to Memorial Park, riding the parade on Saturdays, represented with 14 other trail ride groups across the state for the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo. And so this Sunday, I won't be in the pulpit, but I'll be out there. But on next Tuesday run, I'm coming to you live from the trail ride. So we're going to incorporate some of that into our program next Tuesday night. But
good.
Tomorrow night, catch me live. And we're looking forward to doing some great things in the community, get back to our community, our city, and our world. Thank you, Ron.
Hey, we're going to pray for the family that lost their loved one today. And I'll just say one of my favorite pictures of Jesse Jackson is this one that I'm going to add to the stage, and we're going to get out of here if I can get it up. You know me. It takes me 2 times to get it up because I don't have a preview. But Jesse Jackson and Marvin Gaye playing basketball. I always remember that. It was in the Jet magazine when I was younger and I saw it. So I want to bring it up to the Jackson family. This man is giving his life, trying to help others. So with that being said, we're going to say good night. Take care. And we'll see you next weekend. And go to Pastor Regan's Bible study. Please attend it. If I get it soon enough, I'm going to post it on the page. Or Pastor, you can post it. Yes, we'll get it up there.